We'll go through all of today's Tesla stock news, and we got some good news today. We had a really strong delivery week in China, 16.7 thousand for the last week. We already have a record quarter in China, so anything on top of that is just going to make the record bigger. James is also really happy, and he's still sticking with his 450,000 delivery forecast, which is where he has been pretty much the whole quarter. And he says that 460,000 would be very bullish if we can do that, and that would likely come from the US, because we know Europe is not looking exactly great. But the US is a little bit unknown currently, especially with us not really having good access to Tesla's inventory numbers in the US. Interestingly, this last week in China was the best week that we had this whole quarter. Although it is expected that the next week would be lower than the current week. So yeah, probably 150,000 is pretty realistic for the quarter in China. Very good news from China, but this is not all. Just like I predicted, we now have another company adopting Tesla's North American charging standard. By early 2024, existing vehicles may use the supercharger network with an adapter. In 2025, new Volvos will be equipped with the Tesla charging port. I assume this would involve Polestar as well, although that is not clear. And the good news just does not stop here. We have another announcement. This time, Society of Automotive Engineers said it would start an expedited process to review Tesla's NACS as a public standard. Very good news. And if you want Tesla stock to go up short term, this I think certainly will help. Breaking: Tesla has officially started advertising on Google, verified via the ad transparency tool Google provides advertisers. And Tesla is running ads in the US as well as the UK. These are just simple search ads, but I would assume that Tesla is also working on a slightly bigger advertising campaign, maybe some sort of a video that way will play somewhere, let's say perhaps on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, or other places as well, maybe even on TV. And assuming Tesla does well, that will create a backlog or higher prices for Tesla. Many are happy, although there are quite a few that are not so happy. Emmett is now very confident that Q3 and Q4 will be monster quarters in terms of volumes plus deliveries without having to continuously cut prices further to grow demand enough to match growing supply production. Gary Black is certainly really happy that Tesla just started advertising. He says advertising expands Tesla's total addressable market to the 90% of consumers who don't currently drive EVs, but who are curious enough to search EVs and Tesla on Google. ChargePoint announced today that it is adopting Tesla's NACS connector, which will be offered on new and existing charging stations. I am curious, when will Volkswagen, Hyundai, Kia, and others will also announce the inevitable that they will also be using Tesla's charging standard? And this is not fully confirmed, but this seems highly likely. Tesla Shanghai Gigafactory begins trial production of the Canadian version of the Model Y Performance. This is interesting. Tesla was reportedly very angry when its plans for a potential factory in Valencia, Spain, leaked, and it has abandoned the factory project now officially. And I'm not really so convinced that that is the main reason why Tesla abandoned this potential factory location. There is probably more to this story, because if Tesla really had a great deal, why would you care about that all that much? I think the deal just was not that good, and Tesla can use this leak as an excuse. Hey, look, we don't want to build here because you leaked the plan, and now Tesla will be able to go to other places and say, hey, look, if you leak this, then it's over. So this, I think, just gives Tesla a bit of room in future negotiations with other potential locations for gigafactories, but I don't think this was a deal breaker, although certainly Tesla was not happy. Think about this. If Tesla goes and negotiates a deal somewhere else and the negotiations are ongoing, and then all of a sudden there's a leak, Tesla can say, hey, look, you leaked this. Give us a better deal now, or we're leaving just like we left Spain. Also, this could be just a negotiation move on Tesla's part. Maybe Tesla is still serious about Spain, but they're just saying, look, you leaked this, so give us a better deal now if you want us to come back. Probably Tesla's not really saying that, but maybe Spain will offer Tesla a better deal, which then Tesla could seriously consider one more time. If you know of any Tesla stock short sellers, you may consider sending your condolences and buying this burnt hair cologne, which is now back in stock again. And yeah, this is, I think, a pretty thoughtful gift. This got the whole Tesla stock community really excited. FSD Beta 12 maybe later this year said Omar and Elon Musk replied with version 12 won't be beta, which I assume would mean that the car would take responsibility perhaps for an accident, or certainly at least it would be safer than human driving. But while I do see that a lot of Tesla stock investors are really excited about this, I don't think this really means much. All it means is that we will be getting updates to the version 11 of full self-driving until it is actually really good, and only then it will become version 12. So although it feels like really big news, I don't really see much news here really, although it is nice to know. Good news for Tesla. Volkswagen slows down EV production in one of their factories. James thinks it's because ID4 is hot garbage and demand is terrible, hence the production cut. Another Tesla killer struggles. I really like this new Cybertruck footage personally. I like how the wheels are wide. They sort of, the wheelbase is wider than the whole body. Now this is seriously unexpected, but Daily Mail writes that Dan O'Dowd was in the car with Tesla inventor Ross Gerber. Tesla inventor. It's just a bit sad what the legacy media has come to. That is obviously false. Oh, and remember when I reported on Lordstown Motors founder selling all of his stock in the company? And I basically made a point that, yeah, there's something really bad going on there. It was pretty obvious, so anyone capable of thinking would come to that same conclusion. And now, officially, Lordstown files for bankruptcy, which is, of course, really interesting because GM invested in Lordstown Motors as well as Nikola. If GM invests in another EV company, run away as fast as you can from that EV company. It's probably destined to go bankrupt. We have some good news here. The Canadian and the US economies are linked together sort of closely, and Canadian inflation slowed to 3.4% year over year in May. That's the lowest number since June of 2021. As a Canadian, I love this number. If US can get to a similar number, the rate hikes would certainly slow down and possibly end completely, which would then possibly rally the stock market, which would be great for Tesla stock. And look at what Gary tweeted here. You know what they say when an analyst downgrades a stock while increasing its price target by 34%, which is what happened yesterday? They say that analyst was caught flat-footed. Gary Black seriously calls out Wall Street on this TV appearance. Check this out.
Goldman Sachs, they downgraded, and it came with a price hike, or at least a hike to its price target to $248. I watched that stock close today at $241.05. Is there more gas in the tank for Tesla? I guess I really should say more charge in the battery.
Look, there's two types of downgrades from Wall Street. One is when there's a fundamentals change, and one is a price change. Fundamentals change would be the category volume growth declining, or Tesla's losing share, or there's more price cuts coming, or gross margin. What we've seen from Goldman, Morgan Stanley, Barclays last week, these are all based on the fact that Tesla has gone up a lot. And Wall Street is notoriously bad at timing Tesla based on price. Remember 2020, fewer than half the analysts had buys, and the stock went up sevenfold because they launched the Model Y, which was a new TAM, a new total addressable market, is a CUV, and they just blew out the volumes in 20 and 2021. And you have something very similar happening in the third quarter, where Cybertruck, which is a new TAM for Tesla, pickups 20% of the market. There's 1.8 million pre-orders, and And that's going to come out and it's going to attract interest in the whole Tesla category. Because when people see one of these things, riding around, they're going to go to the Tesla website, or they're going to the Tesla store, and they may not buy a Cybertruck because Cybertruck's not for everybody, but they'll buy a Tesla 3 or they'll buy a Tesla Model Y. And that's what happened in 2020. So, when the Wall Street downgrades based on price, to me, it's noise. And historically, they've had a terrible track record at timing Tesla from a valuation standpoint.
I 100% agree with Gary here. Wall Street, overall, when it comes to Tesla, has done a very poor job. And in the long term, most likely they will continue doing a poor job. And YouTube wants you to watch this video next, but if you haven't finished watching this Elon Musk interview, then watch this one first. My name is Matt Posius. Like and subscribe if you haven't yet, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching.